Don Sinclair Davis, Ph.D. was an American character actor best known for playing General George S. Hammond in the television series Stargate SG-1, and earlier for playing Major Garland Briggs on the television series Twin Peaks. He was also a theater professor, painter and United States Army captain. Early life and education: Davis was born and raised in Aurora, Missouri. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree in theater and art from Southwest Missouri State College. He said that during the Vietnam era he was with the 7th Infantry in Korea, and at another point was a personnel and administration officer. I ran records branches. He was a captain at Fort Leonard Wood by the time he left the U.S. Army, and worked with general officers, so I've been able to use that in Hammond and other characters. In 1970 he received a master's degree in theater from the Southern Illinois University Carbondale. His thesis was design and construction of stage settings for black comedy and The Two Executioners. He taught for several years before returning to SIU to complete a Ph.D. in theater. His dissertation was the evolution of scenography in the Western theater. He began working in the film industry in the 1980s, while teaching at the University of British Columbia. In 1987 he stopped teaching in order to pursue acting full-time. Career: he got the role of the eloquently spoken Major Briggs, he said, when I was living in Vancouver and doing local work. But because of my accent in the 80s I couldn't play a Canadian in commercials. So someone suggested that I get an agent in Seattle. I did and was able to get commercial work and acting jobs there. I had a good resume. So when they were casting the Twin Peaks pilot my agent sent me out of the audition. I met series creator David Lynch and didn't actually read for him we just visited. David liked me and started writing for me. He liked the chemistry I had with other players. I did 3 days on the pilot and then went on to the series. That was the luckiest break I could have had. There are at least a dozen people from that show who are lifelong friends because of that show. It was a life-changing experience. In the TV show MacGyver, Davis was the stunt photography double for Dana Elcar. He was often mistaken for Elcar, and vice versa. Davis did appear in 2 episodes of MacGyver, as a different character each time. His first appearance was as a cement truck driver in the episode Blowout, and his second appearance was as the poacher Wyatt Porter in The Endangered. He also played Dana Scully's father in the series The X-Files. Canadian audiences may also be familiar with Davis thanks to his appearance in one of the famous Heritage Minutes, in which he played an arrogant American gold prospector who pulls a gun on Mountie Sam Steele. He also played the role of the Racine Bell's manager in the movie A League of Their Own. He also had a guest starring role in the pilot episode of the comedy-drama television series Psych, playing the character of Mr. McCallum. He was a member of the main cast of Stargate SG-1 during the first 7 seasons of that television series, portraying General George Hammond, commander of Stargate Command. He appeared in a recurring role during seasons 8 to 10, cutting back his commitment due to health problems. He also played the character in one episode of the Stargate spin-off series Stargate Atlantis. Later life and death: Davis, who was living in Gibsons, Canada, died on June 29, 2008, of a heart attack. His ashes were scattered into the Pacific Ocean. The writers of Stargate Atlantis paid him homage by mentioning the death of his character in the same manner, and naming a starship after him, in the final episode of Stargate Atlantis, which aired on January 9, 2009. He was again honored in October 2009, with the appearance of the starship Hammond in the pilot episode of Stargate Universe. Coincidentally, in episode 16 of season 4 of SG-1, 2010, it is stated that General Hammond had died of a heart attack. Personal life: Davis married Ruby Fleming in 2003, by which time he had a son from a previous marriage. He was also a visual artist, spending most of his free time painting or carving. Davies grew up painting, sculpting and drawing. He continued to pursue these crafts his entire life, supplementing his income with design commissions and art sales. On the DVD commentary tracks for Stargate SG-1 Season 6 Episode 17, Davies said he once worked carving wooden cigar store Indians that were sold at Silver Dollar City. He also said his PhD is in dramatic theory and criticism. Filmography: Woodshop Principal Jamison, Stargate SG-1, Children of the Gods, Final Cut Major General George Hammond, The Uninvited, Wyvern is the Colonel, Burn Up, Vipers Dr. Silverton Beyond Loch Ness Neil Chapman, Far Cry General Roderick, Stargate, Continuum Lieutenant General George Hammond, The Unquiet Bud Rollins, Flash Gordon Mr. Mitchell Supernatural Trotter, Beneath Joseph, Stargate SG-1 Marge Jen / Lieutenant General George Hammond, Psych, The West Wing Reverend Don Butler, G.I. Joe, Valor vs. Venom Wild Bill, Meltdown NRC Carl Mansfield, Miracle Bob Fleming, NCIS MTAC Control Officer, Andromeda Aveniri, Stargate Atlantis Major General George Hammond, Savage Island Keith Young, G.I. Joe, Spy Troops The Movie Wild Bill, The Twilight Zone Dr. Tate The Chris Isaac Show Dell, Just Cause Thornton, Deadly Little Secrets The Chief, Hostage Negotiator Alexander Daniels, The Sixth Day Cardinal de la Holla, Best in Show Mayflower Best in Show Judge Everett Bainbridge, Suspicious River Golf Shirt Man, Atomic Train General Harlan Ford, The Lost World, Jurassic Park Harbor Dispatcher, Con Air Man Driving Volvo Hit by Falling Body from Plane, Dad's Week Off Hank, Viper Lloyd, Prisoner of Zenda, Incorporated. Colonel Zapf, The Fan Stuck, Alaska Sergeant Grazer, Poltergeist, The Legacy Harold Taggart, In Cold Blood, The Ranger, The Cook and A Hole in the Sky Mr. Smith The Outer Limits Army General, The Outer Limits Detective, The X-Files Captain William Scully, Needful Things Reverend Willie Rose, Cliffhanger Stewart, Highlander, The Series Palance, Columbo, A Bird in the Hand Bertie A League of Their Own Charlie Collins, Hook Dr. Field's Mystery Date, Doheny, The Gambler Returns, The Luck of the Draw Rodeo Announcer, Omen 4, The Awakening Jake Madison, Look Who's Talking to Dr. Fleischer Twin Peaks Major Garland Briggs, Cadence Hague, Look Who's Talking Dr. Fleischer Booker, Sheriff, 21 Jump Street, Frank, Stakeout Prison Gate Guard, 21 Jump Street, Principal Harris, The Journey of Natty Gann, Railroad Brakeman, MacGyver Stunt Double for Dana Elkar, Joni Loves Catchy Benny. References. External links, www.donsdavisart.com Don S. Davis Art Site, Don S. Davis at Find a Grave, Don S. Davis at the Internet Movie Database.